I'll be back.
This is Video Store Clerks. Welcome to the store.
Hello, hello, beautiful people. Tuesday, 10 p.m. This is not a recording. This is live. We are your Video Store Clerks. I am Chagmang the Bellboy.
Hey, what's up? I'm Mike.
I'm Chuck.
And we are back from Vegas, so we are back to doing live television. Good trip, good trip. Tonight we'll be talking about the 1995 Four Rooms, which is a story about four different rooms, one bellboy, with four different writer and directors doing each room.
Four
Very
rooms,
fun film.
one bellboy.
I know it sounds dirty. I like it. But anyway, we're going to start the show as we usually do. We'll be going over the news, the clip of the week. Then we'll be running some ads and promoting some stuffs. And like I said, right about now, it's time for
Good morning, everybody. A pair of earthquake! Run for your lives!
Fake news.
Goddamn.
There was no earthquake.
Goddamn cards are all fucked up. Can't even find good help these days. Oh, anyway. So we're going to start off on a positive note before doing the top 10 and say happy birthday to the following. Michelle Pfeiffer. She is 67. Uma Thurman turned 55. Daniel Day-Lewis turned 68. Derek Mears turned 53. Jerry Seinfeld is 71. Tyler Labine is 47. And the great Willie Nelson turned 92 years old today.
Wow. So all those, that's all today.
Yeah.
They all had the same birthday.
Yeah. Fucking nuts, right?
That's crazy.
I was scrolling through there and just saw the names that just I knew, and I was like, well, that's fucking bonkers.
Did you say P. Pfeiffer?
P. Pfeiffer. How do you pronounce it?
How you pronounce it? I wasn't Michelle Pfeiffer.
P. Pfeiffer.
Pfeiffer.
Really? I always thought it was just Michelle Pfeiffer. Thought the P was silent.
Why would the P be silent?
I don't know. People have weird names. You're fucking with me, aren't you?
Anyway, top 10 is rumbling. This week, the top 10 box office. Number 10, The Legend of Ochi. Don't have a clue. But it did $1.5 million.
Ochi.
Never heard of it.
My friend went to go see it the other day.
You said you saw it saw the trailer?
A buddy of mine went and saw it the other day with one of his friends. Said it wasn't like his favorite movie, but yeah. He said it was kind of an adorable movie. I guess there's like a creature in it or something. I don't know.
It's one
Is it
of
a kids
those,
movie?
Eh?
Mm-hmm.
I have no idea.
No fucking clue.
I saw the trailer. I didn't see the trailer, but I saw the poster, but it was really tiny.
I haven't seen shit about it.
Number 9, one of my favorite bands ever. Pink Floyd live at Pompeii. First week out did $2.6 million.
Oh, they put that back out in theaters?
Yeah, there's two releases. There's that one, and then there's one down the road.
I'm not a huge Pink Floyd fan, but I still like a few albums. So I used to be, but that is one killer live show. It really is. It's pretty badass.
Dave Gilmour's fucking amazing.
Yeah, he is.
Number 8, Warfare, did $2.6 million this week, bringing its 3-week run up to $21.7 million. And number 7, The Amateur, did $3.6 million this week, bringing the 3 weeks to $33.7 million. And number 6 is the Triple H movie, The King of Kings. It's not really a Triple H movie, but how you doing? Did 4.2 mil this week, doing 54.7 mil in the last 3 weeks. A lot of movies came out 3 weeks ago, and they're still in the top 10. First week out for number 5, Until Dawn, pulling in 8 mil opening weekend. I read different things online that are just back and forth, but a couple people from work saw it, and they said they didn't mind it, and we seem to agree on movies quite often. So I say that.
I've seen some people say that it was fun. Some people thought it was trash. A lot of people were mad because it's not totally like the video game. My ex, I watched her beat that game twice. It's kind of a choose your own adventure movie. It's more of a movie than it is a video game. Right. But I'm not sure. But from what it sounds, it kind of goes away from what the actual game is, I guess. So I don't know. I'm curious about it, though.
It's always a positive.
Oh yeah.
Number 4, the Minecraft movie. Did 22.7 mil this week, bringing it up to $380 million in the last 4 weeks.
It was interesting. Me and Dax watched it a few days ago. Nothing special. I mean, like it's kind of like the Five Nights at Freddy's thing. It's like, all right, the kid enjoys it, so it gets points. It's all right. I didn't really give that much a fuck about the shit people were bitching about it because I'm not a big Minecraft guy, but
right.
But I still don't understand why at the theaters, apparently as soon as Jack Black screams chicken jockey, kids go fucking ape shit. I don't know what the deal is, but it's a thing to the point where they have people coming out before the movie starts and threatening the whole theater, saying if anybody throws anything, says anything, does anything when he says chicken jockey, you're out of here. So it's a pandemic.
That's always a big thing.
Yeah, it's weird.
Number 3 is The Accountant 2. First week out did $24.5 million.
Did anybody know there was an Accountant 1? I didn't.
Really?
What?
Yeah, that's pretty dope. Fucking Ben Affleck.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Affleck.
He was the bomb in the Phantoms, yo.
That's what I hear.
True.
Rumor has it.
Rumor has it.
Number 2 is the other re-release, Star Wars Episode 3: Revenge of the Sith. Did 25.5 million this week.
I think my movie's better. Revenge of the Who Gives a Shit.
That was impressive.
What'd you do?
I landed in a hat.
Well,
I ain't even mad.
Extra points.
Number 1, Sinners. Did
Figured.
45.5 mil this week, bringing in 123 million for the last 2 weeks. So I believe I called Sinners being number 1 while we did our pre-record. Nailed it.
I've heard great things, and I am very excited to see that movie. I've heard it's probably like one of the better vampire movies in a while, and there's certain aspects of it that are very much like From Dusk Till Dawn. And seeing as that's probably one of my favorite like vampire films, I'm sure I'm gonna fucking love it. Like,
yeah, it looks good.
And the blues, come on, From Dusk Till Dawn and the blues, I'm good.
I'm ready to see it. I almost thought about going to see it yesterday, but I was fucking wore out. So I really didn't do shit. It was lovely.
Been waiting for some films to come out. It's been a slow year so far for the box office as far as shit that I like anyway.
Yeah,
just hasn't been anything that stands out to me. So I don't know. I'm waiting. I want some juicy stuff, man.
Well, I think the last movie we saw was what, Nosferatu?
Yeah, that was last year. For crying out loud.
So I'm ready to go back and check some shit out.
True.
Now to slow up some sad news. Had a couple deaths this past week. Football Hall of Famer and the Four Horsemen, Steve Mongo McMichael, passed away at the age of 67.
Yep.
Sad stuff. I saw that on Ric Flair's Twitter account. So that kind of bummed me out.
Yeah.
And then Friday the 13th, Lar Park Lincoln passed away as well at the age of 63.
Yep.
She was a sweetheart, man. I'd met her a couple times at conventions over the years, and she was always very friendly and very sweet to all the fans. So
I've always heard. Yeah. It's a bummer.
It's a bummer, man.
And I was gonna say with Mongo, man, he'd been in bad shape for a while now. So it was just a matter of time, but it still sucks. At least he's not suffering anymore because,
True.
like I said, he was real rough for a long time. So,
right. Yeah, it's always a bummer when people pass, especially people we grew up watching.
Yeah. Even if you know it's kind of about ready to happen or whatever, it doesn't matter.
Right.
It still sucks.
Yeah, and I'm not sure. I know they announced they put him in hospice not too long before he passed, and I don't know if it was then or it was a previous picture, but I'd seen like all his Chicago Bear teammates standing there with him. So I don't know if that was an older picture or if they like came to be by his side.
I think I saw that too.
Yeah. So if that happened, that's pretty sweet.
Right. On to, well, I guess not as depressing news, but there's still some bullshit news.
Oh, cool.
So Blade got put on hold once again.
Of course it did.
Ain't gonna happen.
Why wouldn't it? And then they finally released who is going to be playing Anthony Bourdain in A24's Anthony Bourdain biopic, which is Matt Johnson from the show Blackberry. Not 100% sure what that show is, but that's where he's from.
All right.
And then apparently they just made this a rule for the Academy Awards, which I figured it would have had to have been a rule anyway. For the Best Picture Award, the judges must watch all the nominated films. Like why, I don't know, it wouldn't have been in effect since day one is beyond me.
That says a lot. That says a lot. Yeah.
It's like, what the fuck?
That's why I say fuck award shows.
Like a lot of shit's probably been fucking put on the wayside because they just didn't watch it because they weren't interested.
Yep.
And they could have fucking possibly won Academy Awards. Fucking stupid.
Dumb.
Right?
Yeah.
And then the original composer from the first 4 Scream movies, Marco Beltrami, has returned to Scream 7.
Okay.
So that should be
I cannot wait for that movie to hurry up and come out. So everybody could shut the fuck up about it. I don't really give that much of a shit. Like I just wanted to hurry up and get out, and I hope Sydney gets killed. I've been wanting to see that.
That's kind of where I'm at with it.
And
I want to see what Matt Lillard has to do in it.
Like, there's not much more can be done.
I don't know. They keep talking about all these people that are dead coming back. So I don't know. I don't know where they're going with this.
I don't know, but Young Guns 3, fucking Lou Diamond Phillips and Christian Slater are coming back. So
yeah, that should be interesting. I watched Emilio Estevez talking about that the other day.
He's been all over the place recently.
Yeah.
So there's some more news for you. Young Guns 3 is finally going to be getting developed here shortly, hopefully.
What was it? What was it called again? Young Guns Bloodlines?
No, Dead or Alive.
Mm.
He was hinting around that John Bon Jovi was going to be in it.
Yeah, he said John Bon Jovi really wants to be a part of it.
Yeah,
but he can't say anything, which makes
me but he pretty much just did whenever he said that.
Yeah, of course.
But I don't know. We'll see how this other 30-year-old sequel does. And the new trailer dropped for Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's MMA film, The Smashing Machine. He looks fucking bananas because he doesn't even look like himself.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
He looks so fucking strange. He's doing a biopic. He's playing, I forget the MMA fighter's name. Do you know, Mike?
Shoot. Who is it?
But he was an old school fighter. I know like one of his first fights was Mark Coleman.
I don't remember.
So tired.
Oh, wait. Mark Kerr. Mark Kerr, right?
That sounds familiar. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Yeah, he looks completely different.
Yeah, like you can't even tell it's him.
Does it look like he's got his prosthetics all over his face or something?
I mean, not like Rocky, but not like in Rocky 2 when he's doing commercials.
What's this movie called?
The Smashing Machine.
I gotta see what he looks like. Let's see.
Good. It looks good.
Oh wow. Huh. That's kind of insane. All right.
Right.
Yeah.
He
Wow,
looks really
okay.
fucking different.
Not completely. He does look. You can tell it's The Rock, but I mean, at the same point, you like. I don't know. Yeah, I definitely see what you're saying though. But he kind of does look like the actual dude. So
Yep.
interesting. All right.
Not too shabby.
Yeah.
More A24 news. The Friday the 13th prequel series Crystal Lake finally can move forward now that they have no more issues with trying to make it, because it is not a film, it is a series. If they were trying to make a film, then they couldn't do it because of all the bullshit with New Line and everybody that's all jammed up for the Friday the 13th franchise.
If we can't kill the franchise in the movies, we'll do it on TV.
Since it's actually a series, they're allowed to make it. So I believe it's getting made for Peacock.
I'm not holding my breath on this fucking shit. Like I just
Me either.
like what like seriously, is it supposed to be like a prequel or some shit?
Yeah, it's
Like,
supposed to take place, I guess,
Right.
with
Yeah. So
Mystic
we get to watch
Voorhees after
to watch-
Jason dies.
we get to watch a whole series of pretty much like
Jason.
it's gonna show this kid being picked on all the time, and then I don't know, it's just gonna be bollocks. I already know it's gonna be shit.
Yeah. Money grab.
Completely.
Cha-ching. And my favorite part of the news, because it involves one man that for some reason in the past couple of years I just cannot stop watching anything he does. So Nick Cage's series
Say that.
Spider Noir is to start streaming in 2026. It finally got a year date, but not an actual date.
What is it?
His Spider-Man film. He's Spider-Man.
Oh, like the cartoon thing? Like, is it actually going to be like?
And I think they're releasing it in color and in black and white.
So, is it going to be like a live action movie?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
From the Spider-Verse.
I actually really like that whole the whole noir thing on that, so I'm down for that. That's cool.
I'm just down because the word Nick Cage is on it.
I used to fucking despise the guy, and these days I'm like, oh, new Nick Cage movie's out, but it's going to be crazy. Like The Surfer. Have you seen the trailer for that with Nick Cage? Dude, check it out. It looks pretty good. Like I don't know. Ghost Rider fucking killed it.
Out here soon.
Ghost Rider fucking killed it for me for like the longest time. I just hated his guts, and then the last few years, man, he's won me over with a lot of the fucking shit he's been in. So
he didn't write the script. That was just a bad script.
I don't care.
Daredevil.
I don't care. That movie sucks so bad.
I think it helped his career moving away from these like blockbuster Hollywood mainstream films and doing these more independent type films.
And horror.
He's killing it.
It was like like you said, he was doing like Ghost Rider and all that mainstream shit, and then it's like, all right, take a break, come back, do Mandy, do Pig, do
Mom
all
and
these
Dad,
things. All this stuff, and now it's giving him like a second wind in his career. So I prefer the
latter
this stuff, than the last part of his first half. So
yeah,
he's amazing.
Yeah, really.
The man is literally a national treasure.
Wow.
Yeah. But now on to the main event. 4 Rooms came out on Christmas Day, December 25th, 1995.
Merry Christmas.
Has a runtime of 98 minutes. The budget was $4 million, and it made $4.2 million in the box office. Did not do well. It got beat up, as they say. I'm not sure why it didn't do so well, but then people said once they realized Quentin Tarantino's name and Robert Rodriguez's name were on there, then it started blowing up once it hit video.
Yeah. It's a very underrated film.
It is.
So funny.
Like, I'm not even sure what made me pick this movie. Like, I was thinking about doing something Tarantino, and then I know we did Desperado at the beginning of the year, and I was still kind of on that Rodriguez kick, so I was like, fuck it, why not? Fuck it. But anyway, so there's 4 different rooms. Every room has a different writer-director. That's 4 walls and a ceiling and a floor. And the main character is Ted the Bellboy, played by Tim Roth, who goes to these rooms.
Not Theodore.
Not Theodore. not Theodore. But anyway, he runs around to these different rooms, and they kind of intersect certain rooms. And I think the first room's by itself, then the second and third room kind of intertwine, and then the fourth room is by itself. But the first room, well, as soon as the movie opens, he's talking to Mark Lawrence, playing a character named Sam, who's turning over his duties for the night to Ted. And he says, rule number 1, don't fuck any of the guests.
Keep
Didn't
your
last
cock in
long.
your pants.
He fucks up. And then they play that nice little Pink Panther animated intro.
Mm-hmm.
That shit was fucking great. Like, they should just do a whole movie about this. But originally, I heard playing Ted, they wanted Steve Buscemi, but he was, I think, filming Fargo. So he had other obligations and could not do it. And then they got Tim Roth. And as you know, fucking anything with Quentin's name on it tends to have a lot of his inner circle Tarantino verse type shit going on.
Yeah.
But anyway, so after the animation, what's that?
Well, I was going to say, especially around that time, it's like you have a lot of their films coming out. Him and Rodriguez,
Right.
I think they had worked, they had offices right next to each other, and they were just banging out scripts and stuff like that. So it was just like one film after another. So you get, you're working with a lot of the same people, especially in that small time frame.
Yeah, and this is like right after Desperado. He just finished doing and put out Pulp Fiction.
Mm-hmm.
So he was definitely cranking out good stuff then because he was in demand at the time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But then after the intro, you go to Ted downstairs, and then in walks Madonna looking for the honeymoon suite. And so he takes her upstairs, and they go to the honeymoon suite. And then as the day progresses, like more and more witches, because they are a coven of witches. So they wait for, what was there, 5, 6 of them.
An oven of witches?
An oven of witches.
A coven, not an oven.
Dude, like the Tim Roth's facial expressions in this fucking movie.
Oh, dude, he's great. I don't think Buscemi could have pulled this one off like this.
I don't know. Like it would have been a different movie, I think. But
he would have done good. He would have been good because Buscemi's awesome. But like, dude, just his facial expressions, his voices, how he moves. And he's kind of like, he's very cartoonish, and it's kind of what you think when you're watching this is like this could be a cartoon. It's just so wacky and oddball, and I don't think he would have done it quite as well as Tim Roth pulled it off.
Possibly not, because Tim Roth he's good stuff.
Oh yeah,
he's got the goods. But I like in almost all of Tarantino stuff, there is a chapter selection. So before each room, there's like a little chapter thing will pop up, and it'll say like the honeymoon suite. Like this one was called The Missing Ingredient. So this is based on all the witches getting together to cast a spell to get their head witch Diana back. And they all have to bring certain things to the party and pour in this like big ass witch kettle.
Yeah. What are they needing? What are they needing, Chad? What are they needing?
Well, the first one,
funny you should ask.
She dumped in like a year's full of tears. And then someone dumped in the sweat of 11 guys or some weird shit. And then the one girl says her little poem that they did, because they just go up there, recite their little poem and dump in what they do. And then her job was to bring semen from her bill. But she was so hot, she swallowed. So
you should have wrote down the whole thing, because the whole thing's kind of funny.
It is pretty funny.
And their reaction is too.
Especially whenever the one which breathes fire, and then the other one's like, "Didn't your mother teach you not to put those things in your mouth?" But anyway, here comes Ted the bellboy, who's bringing up sea salt and some other like herbs and spices to the party. Yeah, like that they need to do their ritual. So it's perfect timing for Ted to walk in.
They need all the special ingredients in order to conjure up what they need to do.
Yes. But then Ted walks in, so they're like, okay, we can get this last part out of here. So then they leave the witch there with him to try to get his kids.
Baby better.
Then he puts a little spell on him, and then they end up doing the deed or whatever. And then they come back up to the room as he's walking out. And then they go back into the room and the spell is done. Now the witches, I know there was a few of them I didn't really remember who they were. I know of Valeria, what's her name? Galino, or what's her name? The chick from Hot Shots.
That's right, yeah.
She's one of the I think she's the main witch out of the coven.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All
It
those
was either
women,
her or Madonna.
Yeah. All those women were pretty much when you look at the room of women, you knew it was a 90s movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, for real.
It's those are all I remember all those women from the 90s. And that was when Madonna still looked like Madonna instead of a frog about to implode.
Yeah.
Well, what's funny is Madonna actually won a raspberry for this role as the best supporting actress.
Jesus.
Which does not surprise me at all.
No.
But the first room is actually written and directed by Allison Anders. And to me, it's my least favorite room. There's not really a whole lot going on there.
It's a good opener. It's there's not too much going on, but it gives you just enough craziness to kind of bring you to
it kind of sets up to give you the story of how Ted's night's about to go. Because he literally sleeps with this chick, and that's the first thing he's told not to do, and that's the first thing he actually does.
Whoopsie.
So you can tell that he's about to have a fucking kind of awkward night.
I don't know. It's weird. That's a weird room.
It is. That's what I'm saying. That's why it's always been my least favorite. Yeah. I'm not real sure what all she has done as a writer or director, but it's definitely she didn't win me over for her story for the room choice.
So my question is, if she didn't use her mouth, then how did she get the last ingredient in that thing? There's a whole lot of horrible.
She said they finished in the pot or whatever. So I guess he just
okay
threw it over there.
What an awkward thing to do.
Yeah.
I mean, it'd be weird, but when it's time, it's time. There's no holding it back.
True. Very true.
So then, what's that?
I don't know. It's weird. The thing I like out of this room is whenever he comes back and he comes in with all the stuff on the tray or whatever, they have just got done, trying to do the spell or whatever. And two of them are standing there with their tits out. And he's just kind of his reaction is like, what the fuck?
He looks right at him. He's mid-sentence and he's just
yeah. Oh.
Well, it's it's gone.
That was it.
No, I was just gonna say because he, when he comes back and they all get the idea, and they're make whatever happy, and they walk out, and he's just
oh yeah,
he walks over and starts, taking off his, and you're like, all right, I guess he's getting into it, and then he covers her up.
Yeah, he covers it up. And then he walks back over, and then he starts doing the ears and doing some little dance.
Yeah, little kid,
help me out here.
Yeah,
I don't know how I'm supposed to make you smile here.
He's doing little kid baby stuff, like peekaboo and weird shit.
Yeah, he's help me out here. It's what?
Very awkward fellow.
Yeah, the whole fucking movie. I mean, there's that's whenever you can kind of tell though, his reactions are pretty much the funny part. It's kind of hard to talk about that room in my opinion, just because not a whole lot really goes on.
It's pretty cut and dry.
Yeah. But then whenever he's walking out of
there was no twist or anything like that. It's they perform the spell and then the witch comes back. And that's it.
Yeah.
And it's okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So you're kind of okay, this is going to be a dumb, just a boring, weird movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then as each room progresses, it picks up a lot. Because then right after that, he's back down at the front desk and he gets a phone call with some people looking for ice, which is Lawrence Bender, who is part of the Band Apart team and pretty much produces all of Quentin's shit. And he's like, I don't even know what room we're in. He's like, what room we're in? And the other guy's trying to make a daiquiri or whatever, and he has no fucking idea. And then he's like, I think it's 404. He's like, I thought we were on the 5th floor. He's like, I don't know, 409 maybe. And the guy's just like, I don't know, fuck it. He's like, it's 404. So he's like, then you see Ted walking through the hallway with his bucket of ice, knocks on the door, and then it opens, and you hear someone say, "Hey, Theodore."
Yeah.
Then, to me,
what are the odds?
This room's so fucked up though, because this room is labeled as Room 404, The Wrong Man.
Yeah.
And it's written and directed by Alexander Rockwell. And then he opens the door, and there's only 2 other people in this room, which is David Probel playing Siegfried, and then Jennifer Beals playing Angela. And then she's tied up on a chair, and then Siegfried has a fucking gun. And he's looking for a guy named Theodore, which just happens to be Ted's name.
Yep.
All because they're playing I don't know if they're playing some weird-ass fucking role play or what the fuck, but it doesn't seem like this is their first time doing this.
Right.
Like,
I'm still confused as to what the fuck they were doing.
That was a kid thing.
That's what I'm thinking. But it's just so fucking weird.
Yeah.
Because, first of all, like, what do you know some dude's going to just come up to your room, and then the odds of his name actually being Theodore are fucking very slim. So they could have just been sitting there all night hanging out, her tied up, him sitting on a bed with a fucking gun beside him doing nothing.
Happy New Year.
Right. So then he's trying to talk, and the whole thing's so fucking weird. Like, he was like trying to get Ted to admit, I guess, he slept with his wife or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
He's
then,
like, oh, this is a guy that slept with my wife.
But then whenever he suggests, like, hey, is this because someone's sleeping around? And he's like, are you suggesting that my wife cheats on me? And then he's all freaking out. And then he's like, he's just sitting there fucking going on and on about his wife and this dude, Teddy. And then he's just trying to get Ted to admit that he slept with her. But then all this other stuff is going on. Like, you hear a phone ring, so he goes and answers the phone. Siegfried does. And some little kid is asking about syringes in the room. And then he's like, no, but there's a big fucking gun, and he hangs up.
Yeah.
And then it goes back to Ted again. So now this is one of the weirder rooms, I think, too, just because of the issues that's going on there. And you don't really know what's going on, but then you almost think that Siegfried has a thing for Ted.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. I have no fucking clue what's going on. I still don't know. I'm baffled. There's so much going on in this room. You got Dave Preval, who's great, Mean Streets, Sopranos, the list goes. He's been in a ton of shit.
Yeah.
And he's just so off the wall with this, like, okay, like, did you sleep with my wife? Or are you accusing my wife of cheating? It's just going on. And then he like kisses him. And I'm like, what is supposed to be going on here? And then she's like buying into it. Like, clearly she knows, like, if she was cheating with some guy named Theodore, that's not him.
It's not him at all.
Yeah.
But she's still going along with it. And she's like, oh, just, play along and you play by the rules and you won't get hurt. It's like, what? Why am I going to get hurt in the first place?
Right.
It's like, this is bananas. And then freaking they kiss, and then Siegfried and Ted kiss, and then he, starts having heart issues or whatever. He's like, oh, the nitro, it's in the bathroom. So he goes in the bathroom. He's trying to find this nitro. The bathroom's all fucked up looking. And then he's like, you know what, screw this. And he's trying to go out the window, and he can't get out the window. And he got the guy on the next floor up. That he's like, oh, I got a strange circumstance here, and need your help.
The thing, the split screen where you see like half his
so
body
good.
in the room, and then like he turns around, and he's like, "So I have a bit of a problem." He's like, and then the guy's just like, all over him.
Yeah, he's all fucked up. The guy's like looking at him, and then he's like, and then he gets back in. So he gets in there, and then she's like, "Did you get the nitro?" And he's like, "No, I couldn't find it." It's like, great. Now he's gonna die, and then he pops up, and then he's. I don't know what's going on in this. It's just complete chaos in this room.
He's like,
it's
all a
game. It's all a kink game, because after he leaves the room, whenever somebody else comes in, and they said, "Oh, hello."
Well, the real Theodore shows up.
Yeah.
Oh.
And then you hear it start all over again.
Yeah.
When I
But
think
it's such a fucking whacked out room. Like,
yeah.
So, yeah, it just pure happenstance that he gets the wrong room and he happens to have the same name as the guy that's showing up.
Yeah.
right.
Which I don't think. I mean, even regardless if it was the same name or not, I think he would have went through that whole song and dance, no matter what. Like he would have been like, "Oh, my name's not Theodore," and the people would have been, Dave Preval would have been just like, "I don't care," because he's just rattling off all these different things, and he doesn't seem to care. He's just like, play this game or whatever he's trying to do. Just woo! It's so. I felt like I was gonna have a panic attack watching this because Tim Roth is just like so haywire, just all of his mannerisms, everything's going on, the back and forth. Oh man, I got anxiety just thinking about it.
When he blows up, that like when he just like completely just ball at him, and then the guy's just like, "Oh, I had it all wrong," or whatever the hell. I don't know. I love that shit. That part was great.
I forget what they were talking
goes
about.
off.
Whenever he kind of like starts throwing in like the British accent, and he's like, "I once had a bunny wabbit." I'm like, "What the fuck is going on?"
Yeah, and then he wants her to nibble on her ear or some shit. I'm like, "What? This makes sense. Makes sense to this." And then he just finally, Ted finally has enough, and he stands up to him, like you said, because he doesn't want to be called Theodore anymore. Everybody always calls him Ted or Teddy, and he goes off about how nobody doesn't call him that, and if they do,
My mother called me Theodore.
Yeah, they live hours away or whatever. So it's just very, very bizarre chapter in this film.
It is, because it's like a complete 180 from the first room you just watched.
Yeah.
Which is kind of like boring, and this one just puts you in panic mode. And you're like, what the fuck is happening? Like, why?
Sure.
Like, what the fuck do you do in that situation? Like, you just freak the fuck out. Pretty much, I guess, just pray you don't get shot.
All I know for sure is Jennifer Beals was looking very beautiful in this film.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. She was looking all right.
Damsel in distress, all tied up and sweating and beautiful.
Right.
Woman.
Shit's fucking bonkers, though. But then you can tell she actually cares because she's trying to get him the fucking pills so he don't die.
Yeah.
Even though this fucking crazy guy's apparently getting ready to kill her. I don't fucking know. Like, you never fucking know.
It's a game. He's not going to kill her. You hear about this shit all the time.
Do you?
I've heard of situations before where
It's like a kinky escape room.
couple yeah, like yeah, pretty much. Like where couples do that kind of shit, and like,
got to fuck your way out.
I guess you ain't leaving yet. You're gonna fuck my hot wife while I sit here and yeah, that's called a cuck. So that's probably. I would say that was. I would say that was probably that situation.
What vow did you use there for that word?
Huh?
So what vow did you use there for that word?
What do you mean?
Oh, you said cuck. I said a what?
Yeah, that's pretty much what the situation is. I'm guessing.
Which sounds like cock. And apparently Theodore has a huge cock.
And then she goes over like 20 fucking names.
Well, she says that's how he gets out of it, is because like the dude,
is distracted.
Like, yeah, well, because she goes, "Oh, you're not gonna lie about like all the times we had," but he's like, no, wait a minute," and like she's just like,
you were inside me, and you promised me a better life, and he's just like, "What the fuck are you doing? Shut up, woman."
Wanker, wee, pee.
It reminded me of Robin Williams. We just did Death to Smoochie not too long ago, and it reminded me of that whenever he's like going off and talking about. I think she even said like a couple of the same ones, like Ruffle Foreskin, and just rattling off different names of penis.
She kind of pulled a George Carlin with the incomplete list of impolite words when she was rattling them off like that.
She rattled them off, then that's what gave old Siegfried the fucking heart palpitation.
It was funny because I'm sitting there watching it, and like he's distracted. I'm like, fucking Ted needs to just get the fuck out of there. And then he comes to his senses, like turn around, and just like go for the door.
And then what's he do? He walks out, and he just goes, and just walks on like it's nothing.
Yeah, that's whenever you see fucking Paul Skemp looking for room 404, and he just keeps fucking going. And then you get to one of the craziest rooms yet, which is Robert Rodriguez's room, the misbehaviors.
Yeah.
And, takes place in room 309,
Mm-hmm.
which you got Antonio Banderas,
who I think is very creepy in this one. There's something about his character is just very like eerie. Like I would not want to fuck with that guy.
No, like he's just, it's the eyes, man. Like in that fucking mustache. Like this is him and Robert Rodriguez coming back together right after Desperado.
Yeah.
And then, so you got Antonio Banderas playing the husband. Then you have Tamla Tomita playing the wife. And then the kids was Sarah and a guy, and the other kid was named Juancho.
Poncho?
Juancho. Which I did not know that was a name. But you first see them getting ready for a party, and then Ted comes up and brings the champagne. And then they're still trying to get their kids ready, but he's having problems combing his son's hair for some reason because he's trying to comb it back like his instead of to the side because his mother doesn't know what the fuck she's doing.
Yeah.
And then like you can tell like their relationship's just weird, like very, very tense relationship.
Like the kid picks up the cigarette that he's burning and he left on the thing. He picks it up and sits there smoking it. And it's like he's just trying to pull his hair. And he doesn't even give a shit. He's just trying to get his hair pulled back. But like, they get these kids, they go through all this hell trying to get these kids dressed up and all this stuff. Just to be like, we just leave them here alone.
He's like, you want to have fun, don't you?
You got the TV. That's the old school mentality. Yeah, that's the old school mentality from like the 70s, 80s. It's like, oh, you don't need a babysitter. They got the TV.
Yep.
Right. So then when Ted brings the champagne, he's just kind of like, you. He's like, you can watch my kids. He's like, how about you $500? And he's like, okay. He's like, what about 300? He's like,
300.
All right.
Okay.
And he's like, you need to watch my kids and check on them as much as you can. And he's like, well, I thought you said 5 before. He was like, no, I said 300. He's like, pretty sure you said 5 before. He's like,
are you calling me a liar?
And his wife's like, the kids are getting expensive.
Yeah.
It's like, what the fuck, Mom? They just want to go to a fucking like New Year's Eve party and get fucked up.
Yeah. A pain in the ass. What, you trying to say my children are a pain in the ass? No.
No, the situation.
Yeah.
But you're right the first time they are pains in the ass.
Yes.
And you can tell right off the bat because that little girl, that one of the places, Sarah, she just looks like she's ready to fuck this guy's world up.
Mm-hmm.
And he can tell just by like the look she's giving him.
Don't forget the smell. The smell in the room.
It's just feet.
What could that be?
It's your feet. The smell is your feet.
I almost thought that Tarantino directed this part with so many feet. I'm like, wait a minute. Please tell me this is not Tarantino's.
I'm glad it wasn't. Yeah.
Yeah, because I was like, this is going to be super creepy.
Well, it's just funny because like they leave them there with the TV, and then he just like walks out the door because he knows. He knows these fucking kids are little hellions. They just wait there at the hallway by the door. And then at that time, his son like starts opening the window. He's like, I want to escape. And then first he turns on the TV and he's like, look, it's TNA. And then they're sitting there like playing Robert Rodriguez's movie Baghead, which had Selma Hayek in it.
Yeah, she's dancing.
And then so he walks back in and the fucking kid's trying to open the window. He's like, what'd I say? And he fucking just like sits down real quick.
Man,
so then,
that scene right there though, every kid knows what every person knows what that kid was feeling at that very moment when you're like, you're doing something and you don't realize your dad's behind you. You know, it's like, hey, your whole body just freezes and you're like, I'm so fucked.
That's like 90% of my childhood.
Yeah.
They think they're gone. They think they're in, the green light's on. Parents are gone, but they're staying out the hallway. They know they're fucking smart. They know you kids are up to something. Wait for it. Come back in the room. Gotcha. I told you to behave.
And this is kind of where you see the room kind of intertwining with room 2. Well, the second room for 404. Because she finds a syringe. And then she calls over to that room while Ted's gone. And she's like, there any syringes in there? And then you hear him say, no, just a big fucking gun. And then he hangs up on her. So they're in there just fucking around. Like they just keep saying something about a bad smell and it smells like feet. She keeps saying it's her brother's feet.
Yeah.
He keeps saying it's her feet. Then they draw a fucking dartboard on a picture. and start playing darts with this fucking syringe she finds. Like, that's some shit we would have done when we were kids, like 100%.
Yeah, right.
Mhm.
So then Ted comes back in and fucking just starts yelling at him and shit and gets him settled down. He's trying to get him to go to sleep. He's like, they got to be asleep by 10 p.m. or whatever. So then he puts, isn't that whenever I think that's whenever he puts the fucking like Vicks on their eyelids.
Yeah.
Mhm. The vapor rub.
Yeah.
So then he's like, you need to go to sleep. He's like, this is what happened whenever I was a kid. Put this on your eyes, and then by morning it wears off so you can open your eyes.
Which also, when he does it a lot, he goes through like traumatic moments in his childhood throughout this whole movie, and this one's probably the funniest.
Yeah,
your father didn't trust a babysitter, and I don't blame him. You know what my babysitter did to me when I was a child? It's like, like as soon as he does this, I'm like, why would you not just like take something and rub it off? Like
that's what I was thinking too.
And the kids are quick to figure this out as well. And he's just like, you never thought of that? Later on, she busts his balls like, you never thought of that?
Yeah,
You washed it off.
Yeah, so they get up and wash that shit off their eyes or whatever. Then they call back, and they're like trying to figure out what the smell is. And then that's whenever she like slides back the fucking mattress, and then there's a dead prostitute in there. And you're like, what the fuck? And the prostitute is actually Robert Rodriguez's sister.
Hey sis, so you play a dead whore for me? Cool.
Yeah, her name's Patricia Vaughn.
Never seen so many dead hookers in all my life.
Right? But then like the girl calls downstairs and she's telling him like, look, you need to come up here. There's this fucking dead chick or whatever. So
No,
he runs back up there.
She says it's actually because we had the beginning of the show. That's on our opening, and it's so funny because he's like, who died? And she's like, I don't know, but she's in the bed.
Yeah,
Like it's great. It's like, what are you talking about? You had the stuff for yours. You can't see anything, so you're lying. Like,
and they're like, I wiped it off, and he's just like, what do you mean? She's like, you ever thought about wiping it off? And he just has this puzzled look on his face. It's like, I'm a fucking idiot.
he would not make a good parent at all.
But then it's just great because he goes back up there and starts giving them shit and telling them to go to bed. Then she spins the fucking mattress off the fucking box spring again, and he just turns around and immediately throws up. He's like, what the fuck is that? Then he runs over and fucking calls the cops. And then she's still sitting there holding that goddamn syringe. And while he's on the cops, he's telling the cops there's a dead whore in the bed.
Don't
Call her that.
Don't call her that.
Why are you
Then he
calling
does
her?
it again. And she just runs
Bitch.
over and fucking stabs him in the fucking leg with the syringe. I'm like, what the
Look
fuck
on his
is going on? Like, I would have beat the shit out of these
Meanwhile, they've knocked over the alcohol. The kid's got the cigarette. Yeah, that's another thing that's great.
Yeah, I almost forgot about that part.
Slapping the cigarette out of the kid's mouth.
Yeah.
He's like,
The sound effect.
Every
Sound
time.
effects are great. Like, those sound effects are fucking great. But I like the part whenever I'm trying to think, is that it's right before that, because he's downstairs whenever she calls, and then he sees Antonio Banderas walk in dragging his wife because she's passed out drunk. Like, whenever he's running to the elevator and just dives in, that part fucking cracks me up, especially the look on his face whenever he stands up.
But I feel like I can relate to that moment because I do that every time I go anywhere that I'm in an elevator. You're like sitting there quickly pushing.
just dive in.
Well, yeah, pretty much. Because I'm like, I don't want anybody else in this elevator with me. So I'm like, I dive into the thing and like I push the button. Like I completely understand. Like I don't want anybody else in here with me.
Chuck's
Oh,
that guy.
you're in a
like,
wheelchair?
hold
I'm so
that.
sorry.
And he
Wait next.
closes.
Like,
What an
Chuck does
asshole.
not hold elevators for anyone.
I have enclosed places.
He's like, hold that, and you're like, okay, and then you hit close.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Just,
I didn't
sorry.
make it. I didn't make it.
Yeah.
There
Then he
was a
goes-
fucking, huh?
I was gonna say because like that whole little like scene because you're like, all right, come on, and then like he gets up there and he's bitching at the kids and all this shit, and then everything just goes to shit. The fucking TV ends up back on the nudie movie,
Right.
and like the flames start and the kid keeps fucking like smoking all this shit, and then like Antonio
It's on
Banderas
fire.
walks in, and he walks in and just drops his wife and he goes, "Did they misbehave?" You're just like, that's great. That is, he has this look on his face, and it's just like it's like he knows.
I like the close up of his face though, with his eyes shifting, looking at each little thing. Like he looks over, he sees like Ted grabbing the prostitute's leg while he has a fucking syringe in his arm because he just pulled the one out of his leg, and then she's over there holding a fucking champagne bottle ready to bash Ted with it, and then he's over there just like
with a cigarette in his mouth.
Then he throws it behind him, and a big ass flame pops up behind him with champagne.
Place is
not
on fire. Pure chaos. Did they misbehave?
That's probably my favorite one. My favorite story on there. It has
that shit's fucking great.
Yeah,
like that whole fucking scene is fucking perfect.
Yeah.
All I know is go ahead.
I was just gonna say because at the very end, whenever the fucking water sprinklers fucking pop on, and then everything just kind of ends, and he's like, "Fuck it, I guess I'm leaving."
No, that was the last straw for him. But I was getting ready to say, man, watching this, man, this I miss this Antonio Banderas, man. He is just so fucking cool. Yep. I mean, we talked about Desperado at the beginning of the year, and seeing this, and it's like, man, mid-90s Antonio Banderas was just the total badass. Like, fucking, I miss it.
Desperado movies, Assassins. I know.
Like even this movie though, like it was just like a look and a snap and a point, and like his kids were just like,
dude, he's got that look, man. He's so slick, and
Interview with the Vampire.
Yeah,
no, he was. This was kind of like. Yeah, this was definitely the Antonio Banderas we all know and love. Like, just
for sure.
Like, man, I want to be like you, but I don't want to be your victim either. Like, he's cool as shit, cool looking cucumber.
Yeah,
smooth criminal.
And just like the amount of stars in this whole fucking film is amazing.
Amazing.
Because then you go to Ted freaking in a panic. He's trying to get a hold of Betty. Who's the boss? And then he calls this fucking number, and this girl answers the phone, Margaret, played by Marissa Tomei. Mm-hmm. And he's like, "I'm looking for Betty," and she's like, "She might have left already." And he's like, "It's her fucking apartment." She's like, "Oh,
she lives there."
I think I know her. And like, her and two of her other friends are just smoking weed, playing Rambo on Nintendo.
Yeah, I thought that was great.
What the fuck's going on? And she just has this like long ass conversation with him. She's like, "Well, what's going on there, Ted?" And he's like, "Well, I've been fucked by a coven of witches." She's like, "Did you say you have an oven of witches?"
An oven of witches, a coven of witches.
Sounds like a pretty good way to start the night. What's the problem?
Yeah. He's like, "I have had a gun."
It's just one. It's just one witch specifically, but that was actually the best part of the night.
Yeah.
Like, did she have a big gnarly hairy mole?
Like, you know what? We're gonna skip the witches. Skipping the witches.
He's like, "Then I've had a gun pointed in my face." She's like, "What kind of gun?" He's like, "I don't fucking know. A big fucking gun." She's like, "Was it like dirty hairy?" Yes.
Yeah.
Did it have a long or short barrel? What the fuck does it matter? He's like, "Well, one's either a 40 Magnum or 44 Magnum, or the other one's a 357 Magnum."
It's a 44 Magnum or a 390 Magnum. It's a big fucking gun.
A gun, man.
His fucking expressions are great. So then, like,
him slobbering as he gets pissed off.
Yeah. She's like, "Let me talk to fucking Betty." So then, like, she's like, is there a Betty here? And she's like, "Yeah, it's my fucking house. Who the fuck are you?" And it's fucking Kathy Griffin.
Yeah.
I'm
Before
like,
plastic surgery, she actually looked like Kathy Griffin then.
Well, I think that's whenever she was hanging out with Quentin all the time.
Probably.
Yeah, because she's in Pulp Fiction.
Yeah.
Who is she in Pulp Fiction?
Whenever the car wreck, Ving Rhames comes out walking across the street with the donuts, and fucking Bruce Willis is there in the intersection, and then he fucking crashes the car, and fucking she's the one. Whenever he comes to, she's like, "Oh, she thought he was dead or whatever." She's like the panicked woman, and she looks just like this character. So I wonder
maybe it's the same woman, maybe the same character.
It could be same universe, maybe. I don't know.
Could be.
All I know is I remember whenever Marissa Tomei is sitting there with those two people, I kept thinking the person on the right looked just like fucking Eric Stoltz in Pulp Fiction. with the fucking long red hair. I was like, wait
Yeah.
a minute.
It could be the same room.
Maybe.
It's the same people, different. See, that'd have been funny if it was all three of them characters in that apartment.
Yeah.
That'd have been great. That'd have been a really good crossover there.
Yeah.
But then he's sitting there freaking out, and then like he's like, "I'm fucking leaving." And then she's like, then the phone, she can hear like the phone thing ringing or whatever down in the dispatch area at the front desk.
Is it?
She's like,
is
"That's
that
the
the
penthouse,
penthouse?
isn't it? You got to answer it. You got to answer it. It's Mr. Rush." Then she makes this big thing about how like their hotel's on the rise for celebrities staying there and whatnot. So then he finally answers it, and then you hear him on the phone, and he's like, "Yes, I'll be right up, Mr. Rush." So then he goes upstairs, and then as soon as he like knocks, and then the door opens, and it's fucking Angela from room 2, from the second room. And she's like, "Hello, Theodore," and he's like, "Hello."
Although before the door opens up, like as soon as he's coming off the elevator, like get the fuck out, and you just see these two women run.
Oh
out.
yeah, the two prostitutes running out.
Like
the
what
door,
was
butt ass naked?
What was going on? What was going on with them? Who was fucking them?
It's hard to
Some-
say because there's a lot of weird shit going on in that room.
Yeah.
Nobody looks like they were just fucking two hookers.
No,
You had Angela in there. Very bizarre circumstance.
I mean,
He's
they
the only
had-
one in a robe. Everybody else has their clothes on.
Yeah,
The
but
only one was in the bedroom was Bruce Willis,
Right.
and he was arguing with his wife.
Yeah.
they had like the underwear and shit sitting on the like a bunch of weird shit sitting on the counter before the
I
other
always-
weird shit they put on.
I thought that was Angela's because she was in the tub, so I thought she had taken and like she'd gone swim. Didn't they say
They
they
said
met her at the pool?
Oh, okay.
Met her at the pool, so I thought that was her bathing suit that she took off and was like
That's
sitting on
my
the towel to
bad.
dry out.
Might have been. I don't know.
That's a
Never know.
possibility. But anyway, you get him coming in this room with this fucking like service cart for room service, and then you see Quentin Tarantino, Chester Rush, over there sitting there talking shit and asking him if he's ever seen The Bellboy with Jerry Lewis and all this other stuff because that's what Quentin likes to do is film history.
Yeah,
And he
it's
likes
pretty
to
much
be-
just Quentin Tarantino being Quentin Tarantino.
It really was. Like his acting in that did not. I mean, I guarantee that's
It's
him
just
on a
him-
daily basis.
It is. Have you watched him? You've seen him in
100%.
interviews.
100%, dude. I've experienced this firsthand. I was
You
up
met
in
him.
Tribeca. Huh? I met him. Okay, this
Yeah.
was the night I met him. It was the Reservoir Dogs anniversary show up in Tribeca Film Festival, and they had just done the screening and everything like that, Q&A, and afterwards they went in this little bar place. It was Quentin, it was Buscemi, it was Roth, it was Keitel,
Jesus.
and Mads. I don't think Madsen was there. It was those guys. So they're in there, doing whatever. And I was like, well, I got to fucking go in here and see what's going on. I just got to fucking be a fly on the wall for this.
Yeah.
'Cause this is
Oh,
fucking
yeah.
too cool. So I go in this bar and I'm just like kind of playing it off like I don't know they're in there. And
Right.
I'm like, I go up to the
Mike? Well, apparently Mike is frozen. Hey, Chad. Chad. So, I'm Chuck. That really sucks. I want to hear this story. Anybody else? Anybody else want to hear the story? I know I do. What just fucking happened? Well, yay, Chad's back.
What happened?
Mike froze right before he was getting ready to tell like the juicy part of the story.
Well,
So
that's
it-
weird.
Yeah. Hopefully
That's
he'll be
why
back
I
on here
ran-
in a second.
That's why I ran off to
I
pee,
know. Yeah.
because I knew the story. I don't remember it, but I've heard it.
Mike will be back on here in a minute, I'm sure, to
There he is.
tell us. There he is. All right.
Tune in next week to find out what happened.
God damn it! No.
I had him on the edge of the seat. So anyway, I go in this bar. I'm going back to the bathroom, and they got this like private area off to the left. And I see him. And I'm like, oh shit, or whatever. So I'm like, okay, I go in the bathroom, fucking piss real quick. I'm like, okay, what am I gonna do? I'm just gonna fucking slowly mosey on out. So I leave the restroom, and I'm just kind of slowly walking by to kind of glance over and fucking see what's going on. And all I see is fucking Tarantino standing up, and he's doing a toast. And he's like, I want to do a toast. And this is to all the bitches. and that's all I got that out of that whole segment, because I just kept walking, and I was like, oh my God, that's fucking 100% him. So whenever you say like that's him in 4 rooms, that is him, because he's this zany character in real life. That's him, 100%.
His thought process is everywhere.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right, so here's the deal. Okay, so we're gonna take Michelangelo, and we're gonna do that, and like he just does this like whole like I'm kind of surprised his toast was just that, because like God,
I don't know if there was more to it than that, but all I caught, because I'm just like walking by, and I just see him. He's like, a toast to all the bitches. I was like, that is fucking awesome. Like I don't need anything else. That's my story.
I'm a fan of Quentin, but I can only take so much of his voice, like of him talking. Yeah. Like I appreciate his knowledge on film, because I mean, pretty fucking remarkable. He was on, I don't remember, he was on Jimmy Kimmel or something a long time ago, and
they tested him.
They tested him on like just reading the back of like VHS boxes. Yeah. And he was able to name all these. I mean, just never missed a beat. The guy is a fucking walking encyclopedia for film, and I've always thought that was cool as fuck. But man, like, which I mean, I get it, because like sometimes I do the same shit when I'm like on a roll talking shit, but I just don't think he ever breathes. And when he does, he goes. And the thing is, like, we gotta get that, and he just keeps on going more, like for another 20 minutes, and it's like, God damn, dude, like. How do you have a voice? Like, could you imagine being in a fucking like? I can
listen to him tell his stories for hours, kind of like Robert Englund. Even though I've heard him all 1,000 times, I can still just listen to him over and over and over again.
Yeah, but like, could you imagine being like one of the guys that are sitting in like the meeting rooms for like all this shit, and Mike's going again, and hearing these ideas and just like having to sit there and be like. Because I would say that like especially how like you watch like Pulp Fiction or Reservoir Dogs and stuff, Quentin's like back and forth, which like he does it perfectly. A lot of people have tried to make movies like he does and fail miserably, and he actually does it in a way where you're like, and that also goes back to his knowledge of film. He knows how to do shit. That's why he's one of my favorite directors. Like I don't care for all of his movies, but a good portion of his films I really love.
The way he picks soundtracks as well, like it's fucking genius.
Jackie Brown, probably one of my favorite soundtracks.
Because you can hear a song and just picture something happening to it, and then he just writes it in.
That's how I do it. I'm writing books.
All of them. I can sit and listen to Pulp Fiction soundtrack on loop. I can sit and listen to Kill Bill soundtrack. He knows what he's doing. He knows that music plays such a big role in film, and you can even go on YouTube. And there's videos that you can see all of the throwbacks or the callbacks to films in history where he's just taken bits and pieces of them and kind of made them his own thing. So like you said, he's a walking encyclopedia for film, and he knows how to kind of get influences from the past and everything like that, and then just kind of turn it into something new.
Yeah, even though, like I said, like his voice kind of gets on my nerves a little bit. I would love to actually like be able to sit and talk with him for like an hour. Like
just an hour though. If you were at like a New Year's Eve party with him like this, and you were there all night, you'd probably be like, "Oh my God, dude, fuck, I get it."
Exactly.
Like he's just rattling off like Italian film people and kung fu flicks and all this shit, and you're like, all right, yeah, I get it. It's fucking awesome. Like, I gotta go.
if I wasn't talking to Quentin Tarantino and he brought up Italian horror, we're having drinks and we're talking all night long. No, that's just how it goes, you know.
No, I get it with you.
Yeah. But anyway, this particular scene, we kind of go.
Yeah. So anyway, he's talking to Ted about Jerry Lee Lewis.
You know what this is?
Bellboy.
This is Cristal. Everything else is piss.
And I can see him doing that too. Like, you're not drinking champagne, you're drinking fucking Cristal. When it's Cristal, you say you're drinking Cristal. Whenever you're drinking champagne, you say you're drinking piss.
Yeah.
It's just so funny. So then he gives Ted some champagne or Cristal, and then he's just kind of like giving the rundown. He's like, "This is my buddy Norman, who's what's his fucking Paul Calderon?
Yeah.
Calderon.
Because he looks so
He
familiar.
was in Pulp Fiction. He was the bartender.
He's a bartender.
Ah, all right. Makes sense.
So apparently these two made a bet based off of Alfred Hitchcock Presents Man from the South, which they call it Man from Rio. He actually says the wrong thing, which is Steve McQueen and Peter Lorre. So the thing is, he has to light his lighter 10 times to win Quentin Tarantino's Chevy Malibu that he's driving, which is the same Malibu from Pulp Fiction.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
So he wants this fucking car, and then once again you get kind of sidetracked because then they're like, "All right," he's like, "Did you bring with the items I asked you?" And he's like, "Yep." He's like, "They're over here." So they go over to the cart. He's like, "A block of wood, 3 nails," which I have no fucking idea. He's like, "A ball of twine, a bucket of ice, a donut," and then Quentin's like, "That's for me." He's like, "A club sandwich,"
and he puts the whole goddamn thing in his mouth at one bite.
Yeah. He shows the whole thing, like donuts and fucking Cristal. Who would have thought they went together? Then he's like, "Club sandwich." Then Angela's like, "That's for me." And he's like, "And a hatchet." And he's like, "No, I asked you to bring me a hatchet sharp as the devil himself."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Well," and he's like, "I'll be the judge of that." And then fucking Norman grabs it. What the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
Norman grabs it, and then he's like, "Yep, I can attest to that. It's very sharp."
You are forgetting though. Bruce Willis is cameo in this.
He is.
He's
in the back room. He's in the bedroom talking to his wife about how he's drank too much and he won't be home, and she's pissed off. Which is actually funny because Bruce Willis is in this film uncredited because he wanted to be in another film with Quentin after doing Pulp Fiction.
Yeah,
and he was doing it for free. So since he was doing it for free and he was in the SAG, they would not let him put his name in the credits unless he was getting paid.
Yeah.
So he did this whole fucking thing for free, which I'm assuming in the movie he might be Quentin's lawyer.
He definitely comes off like a lawyer or a manager.
He looks like a legal type, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
But what's funny because his hairdresser is credited in the movie as Bruce Willis's hairdresser. Kind of funny, right?
Yeah, that is actually really
the loopholes.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly.
But then, so they're doing this whole thing to where they want Norman to strike his lighter 10 times or he gets Quentin's Malibu.
If he strikes it 10 times and it lights every time.
Right.
This part's fucking great. I love this part of the movie. Like
they kind of have like a little spastic thing where they're like doing the backstory about it, and then so then fucking Ted's just like, you know what, fuck this, you guys are drunk, I'm leaving.
Yeah.
So then he goes to leave, and Tarantino's like, $100 for 60 seconds of your time. Stops dead in his tracks, turns around. He's like, all you have to do is sit here for 60 seconds, listen to what I gotta say, and then you can take this $100 bill regardless if you stay and do this or not. So he's like, okay. He's like, and then Angela's like, just take the money, Ted. It's a minute or whatever. So then he goes back over and listens to them talk about this. And then convincingly, being Tarantino, gets him to stay and do it. He starts counting out the money.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, okay, so this is what you're getting already. He's like, if you stay and do this, you can get this. And he just starts throwing down Benjamins at a time.
You know, like $1,000 or some shit.
I think he drops 900, and then with that 100 he was going to give Ted initially was the 1,000.
Oh, okay, yeah. He's like, if you light it 10 times.
Yeah. So He's like, okay. So they're like, all right, fucking sweet. Like, we're going to do this. And then Norman puts his hand up to the fucking chopping block, has his lighter in his other hand. Ted's sitting in the back with his fucking hatchet up in the air. First strike, doesn't light. Down comes the fucking hatchet. You hear, oh, my fucking finger. He chopped off my fucking finger. And as soon as he fucking chops it off, he just swipes the money and walks out the fucking door.
It's
like
the way
pimp.
It's the way he does it. Because
Like
as soon as he notices it doesn't like that first time, he goes smack, and he's like, and gets it, and just like, and he's walking away counting as dude's like, he's like, my fucking finger. He actually cut my fucking finger off. Oh, motherfucker! Like,
and then you just hear them like going on and on. You hear fucking Bruce Willis like, okay, I got this the hospital on the line. We got to get him out of here and fucking get his finger put back on, put it on the ice, blah blah blah. So it's just over after that. And it's funny because Quentin's known for saying fuck a lot in his films.
Yeah.
Like, I think he said fuck 270 times in Reservoir Dogs. I think it was like 250 sometimes in Pulp Fiction. This segment is 21 minutes long. They use the word fuck 193 times.
Mainly by him.
Yeah. But I mean, he basically had all the dialogue.
He cusses like that is kind of annoying about him, is like every other word is fuck a lot of times, and he cusses like a kid who thinks they're old enough to cuss, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When kids start getting a little more okay with cussing a little bit more, every other word is fuck.
When your parents give you the green light.
Well, it's like my 18-year-old. 18 hit, moves back around this area, comes over. Every other word out of their mouth is just fuck. And I'm like, hey, dude, can you stop? Like, it's a bit obnoxious. And Quentin Tarantino is a bit obnoxious with that. But
we don't need to celebrate it. We do not need to celebrate it.
Yeah.
But,
you know.
I think the ending of that, like this being the last room, is like the perfect ending, though.
Yeah.
Fucking Ted gets his G. Out the door he goes.
Well, I mean, he already made money.
Did you only ever see him take that $50 tip from Madonna whenever she's like, here's $50 for you as a tip if you can get her to be happy or whatever.
Yeah. And then,
so, I mean, as far as you know, he only makes like $1,000 and like $1,050.
I mean, for a night for a bellboy, it's not bad. But he also makes money off Antonio Banderas. But then Antonio Banderas take the money.
Oh yeah, he get the 5 from him. Yeah.
Yeah. What he got 50, and then he got 500. Then he got 1,000. But didn't he get an extra 100 for sitting there and listening?
No, because he got the he had 1,000 total. He dropped 9 bills for.
Oh, he put the extra.
Pay, and then the other 100 was the initial 100 he offered him.
Okay. So
but yeah, that fucking room is just nuts. Like that'd be the craziest New Year's party ever.
No shit.
But I always wanted to see more with Ted the bellhop. Like, did he quit after that night? Because I think that was his first night alone on the job. So like, that was the crazy ass first night to be left alone. Like, I'd probably be like, "Fuck this."
See, but, I mean, I okay. I can't say I'd say fuck this because that's just too weird of a night not to enjoy in some way, shape, or form. It's like, wow, okay. So I dealt with witches.
Yeah, you fucked
got
the witch.
laid.
Yeah,
and then the witch found herself falling for him.
I mean, they did exchange numbers.
They did exchange numbers. And he even puts her cherries that were in her hair up on the thing down in the behind the counter. At the front. And
he got her cherry.
He got it right. And then then he has this weird thing with this married couple. That's weird and crazy, but hey, he survived it. All right then. And then he goes on having to deal with fucking like Satan's spawn. And then by the end of it though, like he held out. He did his job. He did what he had to do. Maybe not the most conventional way, but
that's what's fucked up though. Is like that last room might be one of the most straightforward rooms he ever went to, and like some of the crazier, like you're fucking chopping some dude's pinky off, and that's about as normal as your night was.
Yeah.
You're not getting a gun pointed in your face. You're not getting stabbed with a syringe.
Right.
Uh,
You're not banging a witch and
Finding dead bodies in a bed.
and releasing into a colander.
I mean, I don't know.
Okay. Now I wouldn't be like, oh no, you know. It's like, oh, that's all you want. All right.
First
Like,
night,
Kobe,
Where's the bowl?
Kobe.
And the video camera. Where's this happening? Anyway.
easy. First night on the job, you fuck a witch. You make over $1,500. Got a guy's finger off.
His semen brought back a fucking helped bring back a witch. That's an interesting thing to tell.
And was there ever any follow up? I wonder if there was any follow up with once the main witch comes back.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you don't know what the witch's intentions are. You don't know if he ever hooked back up with the other witch.
It's all in here. Did he?
There's questions. There's questions.
Wait a minute. Who was? Remember? Okay, so remember in the first room, whenever she shows him the picture of the old witch, and it's like the black and white photo, and then it starts moving. It's like
the baby page thing,
and the other chick. Yeah, who was the chick that was with
the other chick in the picture? No idea.
Yeah,
I was wondering that myself. I was like, I wonder if that's one of somebody that's been in a Rodriguez or Quentin Tarantino movie. We just can't know who it was.
Well, not the actress per se, but in this film, is there any tie-in? Because now I'm thinking about it, is Angela that chick? Is Angela a witch too? Or like, how is Angela tied into all this? It's very strange that she appears in both the second room and the fourth room.
Right.
Just per chance.
Well, but we already saw, like, I mean, like, well, no, because she wasn't part of any of the witches. I mean, the main witch was like a blonde chick that.
But I'm saying, maybe she was.
Oh, in the picture.
Yeah. And maybe she's just been there. Maybe she's like locked into the hotel like a ghost or some shit. Yeah.
Yeah, we're deep diving here.
We are.
I don't know. I'm trying to figure it all out.
I hope that's who's in that picture.
I feel like there's some like deep rooted, like there's some kind of tie-in that I've never figured out.
There probably is.
She's the witch of the Hotel Monsignor, or whatever that place was called.
Monsignor, yes.
It's interesting.
Yeah,
something to think about.
Well, I mean, it's kind of like with Pulp Fiction. It's like everybody tries to figure out what's in the suitcase, and then everybody later would figure out that it's Marcellus Wallace's soul, and the whole thing about him being a demon and all that shit. Is that not right?
Nope.
Then what is it then?
Nobody knows.
Because that's what I've read a bunch, was the fact
that's what everybody likes to agree on. That's what everybody likes to agree on.
Okay. Well, but also just like with music, I mean, sometimes films, it's open to interpretation. There's a lot of so and I'm okay with that, because it makes the movie more enjoyable after you watch it, because you've got all these other ideas in your head. The fact that we're even going on this shows that it's like we really like this movie. Like, we want there to be more to the story,
I remember there was a press junket. I think it was for Reservoir Dogs or something out. They were asking Tarantino what a Reservoir Dog was, and you could apply both this story and you were talking about what's in the briefcase or whatever. Tarantino has this line of thinking where if he comes out and says, "Oh, hey, this was what it was in the briefcase," or "Hey, this is what a Reservoir Dog is," then it's definitive, and that's where it ends. And the thing he always enjoyed was the fact that he would have people come up to him and they'd be like, "Oh, this is what I think a Reservoir Dog is," or "Oh, this is what I think is in the briefcase." And everybody has their own creative ideas and different things, and he always appreciated that, because it made people think and had him interact with the film. So he was like, "I'm never going to give a definitive answer on what it is, because if I do, then that's it, and it stops."
True.
And that all that creativity goes away. So he just wants that to keep simmering and keep going on for the end of time. So he's never given any kind of definitive answer to either one of those things or any of the mysteries of his films.
Oh, sorry.
No, that was it.
No, I was just gonna say it also just sometimes in films and reading and whatever else, you don't always have to know everything.
No.
Like it's cutting down. Like in Pulp Fiction, we know there's two hitmen who have to go get this briefcase for their boss, and they have to do all this other shit. And that is actually the only important part of it, really. You know what I mean? Like we know there's something crazy in this suitcase, and we leave it to our, leaves it to our own minds. But like we also know that there's a whole other big part of this fucking story that we need to pay attention to more. It's kind of crazy how he's always done things with that.
And you don't need an answer. If he comes out and he says, "Oh, it was gold in there," and you're gonna be like, "Oh, that's dumb," or "Oh, that's cool,"
right?
And then that's it.
Yeah,
but,
no one's happy. No one would be happy with the answer he would give. It'd be like you have people on this side, people that, oh, that's bullshit.
Right.
You know? So I agree. Yeah, I agree.
I like his answer to all that. So yeah.
Well, thank you for that, because for like 10 years, I was like, oh yeah, like that's all I've ever heard was like, oh well, it's Marcellus Wallace's soul, and he has the bandit on the back of his head because of demons having like. Yeah. You know, this shit and all that. And I'm just like, God, that just sounds too crazy not to be the right answer. But yeah, so thanks for clearing that up for me there, Michael.
Nobody knows.
I fucking my shit cut out again. Did you talk about like at the very end when it's doing the credits and they're all kind of like bobbling and fumbling around trying to get the finger and dropping the ice and everything like that? Okay.
No, not yet. We were just saying how Ted just kind of like collects the money and just walks out like a pimp.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, your problem now.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you can hear them like discussing like what they're gonna do or whatever.
Yeah.
Like it's just funny because he's like, I have the fucking hospital on the phone, blah blah blah.
It's so funny because he goes to light the lighter and then nope, boom.
Yeah. Like there's no hesitation.
I mean, he followed the rules. They're like, hey, whenever it doesn't light, you know, and it was that first one. And I was sitting with my friend watching it. And we just both started cracking up laughing when that went on. But it's just because it's just so quick. It's like no light, smack, grab the money, walk off, the screaming in the background. That's one thing I love about movies like this. There's a lot of moments in this movie where like Ted's in a different scene, but you hear yelling and shit in the background, and it's just so much like, you know, even when he was like climbing out the fucking window. You hear them yelling in the background. Or like he's going through the medicine cabinet and shit, and you hear them yelling like, "Oh God, oh," and all this shit or whatever. Like it's hilarious, but you can't see them. And that whole end part where like dude's going crazy about his finger and all this shit, and he's just like, he's like counting his money and all that shit. It's always funnier when you don't when you don't see what actually is going on. Sometimes, you know what I mean?
Pure calamity.
Yeah, good shit.
Yeah.
There we go. All right. See you, everybody. Have a good one.
4 rooms.
Great movie.
So we all agree that the third room is probably the most crazy, entertaining one.
The third one is my favorite.
It's my favorite. Yeah. Like it's just it has so much more character than the other ones do, and it makes perfect sense that it was Rodriguez. You know what I mean? Like it just. It's one thing that I love about this movie is I love the fact that it's multiple directors, so we get a little taste of each one of them, and I love the fact that like within, you know, the third room, within that small period of time, you already have like there's not really much needs to be said. You know what I mean? Like the whole movie, you kind of already pick up on these characters and their backgrounds and all this shit without even anything having to be said about it. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that one, like, there is just so much pouring into that whole fucking shit. Like, just Banderas and the woman playing his wife and like just the kids. There's so many characters are just like, you know, it's just great. I love it. But that one had the most. It had like the best character development. Right. You know what I mean? Like you gradually realize that these kids, like very, fast paced, but you gradually realize these kids are fucking terrors, and it makes perfect sense that their parents just, yeah, you know what? We got you ready to go out, but fuck you. You're gonna watch TV, and we're gonna go have a good time, and you're just gonna stay here and be good.
She's like, it was the best story. You know, the first 2 rooms. You're kind of like, what the hell's going on here? You know, it's kind of a mixed bag.
Yeah.
And then the fourth one, It's kind of just like a night out with Quentin Tarantino. That's all it is.
Yeah.
So if I had to rank them, I would say from my favorite to my least favorite, it would be 3, 2, 4, 1.
Agreed.
The titties couldn't save it. I'm sorry.
No,
Yeah.
there were some titties. I would agree with that too.
Boobs.
And I
There
can't
were
believe that Madonna didn't pull her tits out in this. Like,
Well,
Yeah,
no,
just
the
this
ones-
is everywhere else.
walking down, Hollywood Boulevard butt naked, and you can't pull your tits out
True.
from this film.
And
then
she,
the one girl had tape on her nipples.
Yeah.
Well, around that time is around the time that she put out the book Sex.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
It's like,
You
what
know.
now?
I don't know.
I think it's probably a miracle they even got her to be in this film. So
I think they said she was supposed to be in it longer or something, but she didn't want to. Like, I don't know. She had
Don't doubt it.
some diva issues or whatever.
No, not
No,
Madonna. A diva? No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway,
would say that.
That about sums up 4 Rooms. If you have not seen it and you listen to this, you should watch it. I figure if you're watching this, you've probably already seen it. And
I hope so. We've spoiled everything.
We spoiled the shit out of it, yeah. But
Yeah,
even if we have spoiled it, we haven't really spoiled it. It's a fun fucking movie. It's
It is,
very
it's
underrated. Yeah. It's good
Like,
shit.
it's 98 minutes, but this shit plays out fast. Like, because as soon as one room's done, you're on to the next one. And that's what I love about like anthology type films too. And
Yeah.
this is just like an anthology film, but a little over the top that's super connected because the one main character is in everything.
Yeah. And I'm not a big Tim Roth guy. I only like him in Tarantino stuff.
Planet of the Apes.
Like, I know he's done a ton of other stuff, and it's just like, no, I'm not a fan of any of it.
It goes back to the writing. I think that because like he's not a bad actor and everything, but like Reservoir Dogs, love him in that.
He's
Pulp
fucking great
Fiction,
in that movie.
love him in that. Love him in this. I think it goes down to the writing and the dialogue, and just he's able to work with whatever he's given, and he worked with some good directors on this film. So I love as much as I love Reservoir Dogs. This is probably my favorite character of his that he's done.
It's
too good.
It's his mannerisms,
Yeah.
just the way he just so quirky and so much like a caricature, like of just whatever. If like you said, if you had Buscemi in there, I couldn't imagine Buscemi acting that way.
No.
He's a great actor and all, but just to get down to like the mannerisms, the movements, just all the twitches, everything.
That's what's so good about it too, is like going back to like the animated intro. Like, he's that character.
Yeah, for sure. So
Good shit. 4 Rooms. One of the most underrated films. I think when it comes down to like dark comedies.
Very unique.
Yeah. It actually a few years ago. It was the last time that I watched it again, and I've been stewing on some ideas for a story, something whatever that's similar to this. But unfortunately, there's another book that's really popular called Womb that does something similar when it comes down to rooms in a hotel and shit. But I mean, even though like the first there's a couple of the stories that like aren't the greatest, they're all still pretty fun. I mean, there's something. I mean, okay, the Coven one, like, nah, not the greatest, but it gives you an idea of some weird shit's probably going to go on. Like, if this is kind of strange, what else is going to happen? And also we love boobs.
Yeah, I think that was it. That was the takeaway from the first room. Titties.
I'm not mad about it. So
and then not, I mean, not to take away from the actresses, because there's good actresses in that. It just, I don't know. The story just didn't go anywhere for me.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, we're gonna resurrect this head witch or whatever, and then that's it.
Yeah.
Why are they doing it? Where is it leading to? Like, there was no, it's not like, oh, she's resurrected, and then later on in the film she plays a role in something. It's just like, oh, that's it.
They should have brought tied her
in to something.
Right. It would have made more sense.
Yeah,
definitely. If she would have popped up in another story,
or if it would have been Angela.
Yeah,
right.
That would have
made more sense. But
yeah,
what can you do? Still a great movie.
Yeah,
highly recommend.
I've always loved this movie.
And I think Robert Rodriguez said, this film ended up getting them to get the green light for Dusk Till Dawn. Right. It was one of those things that helped them because, like we said, it was that short period of time where it was like they were doing Desperado, Pulp Fiction, 4 Rooms, Dusk Till Dawn. It was like in a matter of a year, I think, 95, 96. And it was just shit. Yeah, it was one of those things where Tarantino had all this stuff. He had all these old scripts and everything like that nobody ever wanted to do, especially like this 4 Rooms thing. They're like, oh, we're not going to do this goofy shit. And then as soon as Pulp Fiction came out and it became a hit, now all of a sudden, oh, that's interesting. That sounds like an interesting film. Let's do that. So everybody was like on board trying to get this stuff done. And Tarantino was like, oh, Rodriguez, come on in and work on this with me. So I think those guys are a good team. I would like to see some more stuff from them. I mean, it's, they've done stuff here and there over the years, but I think these guys are like fucking anchors from, it's been what, 30, we're going on the 30-year anniversary of this film. So,
yeah,
I know Tarantino only wants to do one more feature film. I don't know, maybe they could work together to do some kind of TV series or something that for streaming. I'd definitely like to see those guys working together. I know you did what, Planet Terror and, Death Proof,
right.
The Grindhouse features and stuff like that. But it's been a while, and I'd like to see more from them. But
it's been a while.
This is a fun film.
Yeah, no, completely.
Well, moving on with the show. This is the part of the show where we have our clip of the week and pray that the internet doesn't block us because we don't know if we're going to get smacked with some kind of nonsense. Let's fire this here generator up and see what it's got for us this week.
The clip of the week.
So let us ladle up some of our childhood.
The gangster gremlin.
Fucking movie.
So silly.
It's so dumb. You ever watch the Key and Peele episode where they're talking about how this movie was made, and then at the end of it said, "No, really, this is how this movie came about." Yeah. And I'm just like,
Hulk Hogan in this film. Hulk Hogan and Dunn.
Yeah. Like it's so oddball, and there's so much like wackiness going on. But you know what? It's perfect. Yeah. Because like, that's one of my favorite sequels. I love both Gremlins movies.
It's one of those rare instances. Like you hear stories all the time about these writers' rooms where people are stuck. Like, I don't know, what are we going to do? And they just kind of throw something against the wall, get it to stick. And this is one of those circumstances where they just threw everything at the wall and they're like, fuck it. Like, we're just going to do this. Oh, a bat gremlin or whatever, a stone gremlin. It is like all this stuff, all these different characters and everything like that. It's like whatever crazy shit you could think of, we're going to do. And it comes out and it works. A lot of times it doesn't work. You're like, this is terrible. But Gremlins 2 is a lot of fun. Oh my god!
What if we had a gremlin that went through electricity? Oh, we got it, baby. Yeah. It's just great.
For real.
Hell yeah. It made me happy.
It's fucking crazy. Such a good movie. Now we have a couple ads to run for the gentlemen, but also want to go ahead and plug my buddy.
Oh. You can save that for afterwards.
We got to plug our friend's horror trivia show.
Promote, we'll say.
Promote's a better word.
Yeah, it was a better word. I don't know English.
We're gonna plug him right there where it's good.
You calm down. Anyway,
plug him.
Live in seconds.
Series going on right now.
It is. I did actually see a short the other day. Now that you said that one of Tony's buddies said that he just got finished filming an episode on
I'm excited to see that. Actually.
Instagram. So go check out Scotchworthy. Go check out Bloody Disgusting on Instagram to keep in touch with Better Luck Than Chuck, the horror trivia game show. And hopefully we have Tony and his wife back on here soon so we can have a little game of our own and answer some questions for the man.
That'll be fun.
See how much shit we know, because I
Better
probably
luck
don't
than
know a
Chuck.
lot. Better luck than Chuck.
I don't know. I got some good luck sometimes.
Sometimes. Let's see. And as we usually do, the fellas here as
Hey everybody, Laser Trading Company is on YouTube. See some of the videos from Mike's travels and experiences. If you haven't already, please head over and subscribe. 7,800 and growing. Thank you all. Laser Trading Company is also available on eBay with various merchandise and collectibles. Hundreds of great gift ideas. That's Laser Trading Company. Laser Trading Company. Laser Trading Company.
You know him from Bastard Sons of a Judas Goat, Nasty Nation, Graveyard Talk, and the Video Store Clerks Podcast. He is the creator of Stoner Gore,
Jack Nasty! And if you're looking for the latest in extreme horror, head over to Amazon.com. Look up Chuck Nasty, and the following titles are available. Along with the latest album, Decay of Man, from Bastard Sons of a Judas Goat, available on Spotify, Apple Music, and YouTube now.
along with Chuck's newer releases.
Twisted Eyeball Juice. Do-do-do.
Now available on Amazon as well. And the rocking chair now available on Amazon as well.
Yeah, Twisted Eyeball Juice is actually doing pretty good. It's just a collection of mostly stuff that I've had in other anthologies. There's one story in there that no one's ever really seen. Man, that cover's great.
I do like that cover. That's dope. Dax did well.
Dax came up with the name on accident, and he came up with the cover concept. I was asked what do I want the cover. Asked Dax. I said, "Hey, what are we doing for the cover of this?" And he goes, "I want a blender full of eyeballs." And I said, "Son, we're on the same page." So yeah, and everybody loves the cover and everything. But on godless.com, if you're not familiar with it, is a great place to find digital copies of short stories, full books, whatever, of the extreme splatterpunk persuasion. And right now I am at number 7 in the top 10 of Godless right now. So moving it up. So check it out.
That's what's up.
You gotta, whenever you go to the conventions, Chuck, you gotta get a blender and be handing out samples of eyeball juice.
I'm already thinking. So I'm supposed to be getting my copies in before too long. I'm supposed to be doing, if all works out, I'm supposed to be at Gross Fest with our buddy Whitman this year, sharing a table with him. So I'm hoping, if everything goes well, that I have a blender, and I plan on cleaning it out. And it's just, well, I mean, it's just like shoved. It's been shoved in the back of the not closet.
Getting some lemongrass smoothies.
Right, yeah. But I'll just throw the books inside there, just like I did with the with Thirsty in the refrigerator. So yeah, no, it's
throw the books in there. No, I have juice to hand out to people, cups with the juice.
Well,
you're gonna have to gimmick
here's
something.
The funny thing is, I've been working on that. I want to actually have a non-alcoholic twisted eyeball juice recipe and an alcoholic twisted eyeball juice recipe, because I think that'd be kind of cool. Working on that though.
You can't hand out alcohol.
Can't have alcohol. That's why I'm gonna have the non-alcoholic. But when I come up with the alcoholic version of it, I will definitely put it up. So
what you do is you take the lid, all right, and then you like gimmick something like a container, glue it to the top of the lid, and fill it with eyeballs, and then put it on there so it looks like the eyeballs are in the thing with like whatever kind of juice thing that you're going to be giving out. So you run the blender and all that stuff blends up and the juice comes out, but it still looks like there's eyeballs in the thing. So
Yeah,
it'd be a fun little deal.
If I can find, I want to find some like gummy eyeballs that you could, because like they have that shit around Halloween.
I don't know how gummies would blend.
I've seen Applebee's used to have they used to have a I don't know if they still do or not, but they used to have a shark drink or whatever with those little gummy sharks.
Yeah,
in with it. So that or maybe just a garnish of a couple of gummy eyeballs on it. But
I don't know.
But I have been. It was mentioned on a TikTok that I did for it. Somebody said
they got Squishy Eyes candy on Amazon.
Perfect.
Gummy candy. There you go.
See what you do with that? You put them at the bottom, and so when you get done with the drink, you got something to munch on at the end of it.
There you go.
Oh yeah, more on that one at a later time.
Hell yeah.
Speaking at a later time, what are we doing next week, Chuck? It's your pick.
We are going to be doing something that is not horror because I'm trying to open my horizons for certain things, and I think this is a great platform to do this. One of my favorite movies the last few years. As a drummer, this movie is helmed as one of the best for many other drummers, whatever. Whiplash, the story of a jazz drummer who is going against all the elements, especially a shithead maestro who he cannot seem to please whatsoever with his work, but eventually has probably one of my favorite endings. So yeah, Whiplash.
Oh yeah, Whiplash.
If you're into music, if you're into drama, if you're a drummer and you've never seen this movie, then stop what you're doing now and go watch it because you will fall in love with this movie completely. So
yeah,
I'm excited to talk about it next week.
Miles Teller, J.K. Simmons, Paul Reiser.
Yep. J.K. Simmons is a fucking bastard in this movie. But have you all ever seen it before?
No, I've seen bits and pieces of it.
Oh, see, this is excellent. I can't wait to talk about it because I can't wait to see what y'all think about it.
All right.
Yeah, it'll be fun. Well, that's
shout out to
show, huh?
No, I would give a quick shout out to our boy Dave. What's up, Dave? You watching?
Dave.
We love you, brother, man.
Old Dave.
Dave's still around. He's just doing some other shit right now. He's got some stuff going on. So
on hiatus.
He's on hiatus.
He should be back here shortly. Hopefully somewhere in the near future. The next few weeks. We'll see what we got going on.
We'll see.
But also want to say thank you for all the subscribers, all the new subscribers. We've had 24 subscribers in the last week. So thank you for all the newcomers. I know we put up a lot of wrestling content while we were out in Vegas for WrestleMania 41. So if you're a wrestling fan, check that out if you haven't already. And we'll be probably doing Mania at least once a year. Maybe it is once a year, but we might end up going to the Manias once a year.
Yeah. We try to throw out some content for our fellow wrestling fans or whatever. Whenever we go on vacation, we go on we want to share our experiences with you. I know I got some of my stuff over on Laser Trading Company's YouTube. Dave puts up shorts on here all the time. So we're just trying to throw out some more content for y'all to enjoy. And hopefully if you're new to the channel and you're checking out the podcast for the first time, you had fun with this, come back every week. We're live every Tuesday night at 10 p.m. We're chatting about film. Go ahead and, like we said, we're doing Whiplash next week. Go, if you haven't seen it, go watch it, check it out, and then come back next week and join us. Drop a line in the chat. We're always here. So,
like,
also,
subscribe.
Chuck Nasty has,
what?
I was going to say, and also Chuck Nasty has, 2 more reviews up.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to keep that going, too.
Bumping out some films and doing some reviews and throwing them on our old YouTube page. So we have more of those to look forward to as well.
So tell your mama, tell your grandmama, tell your aunt, tell your uncle. Like, subscribe, and come back every week for something interesting and fun here at the Video Store Clerks Podcast.
Yeah, come on and hang out.
Yeah, we just chill.
Store's always open.
We're just a bunch of goofballs that like to have fun and talk about film and a bunch of other random stuff.
Dare we say twisted eyeballs?
Twisted eyeballs. So jump in the chat, say hi, leave comments on our videos. You want to see anything that we haven't done, leave a little comment in one of our videos and we'll get to it. Until then, we will see you next Tuesday.
There's a dead whore in the video store.
Did they misbehave?
Everything else is piss.